Hi, loves. Welcome back to Sunday Self Love with me, Amar. This is your Sunday morning Kiki with real people and real stories discussing holistic beauty and sharing tips of how we really maintain our self love in our day to day lives. I hope you enjoy. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Self Love with Nia Zamar. I usually have a different background, but I was like, let's try something new. So let me know how you like this setup and if it works well for you. Today I wanted to, it's just me, usually, try to have other people here, but today I want to talk to y'all about breaking up with your pain. And I feel like this is a conversation that's necessary, but it may not be as enjoyable as some of our other conversations when we talk about self-love and what that could look like. And what brought this to mind was a conversation I had with a ex of mine. Talked about how a lot of the things that continue to hurt us are things that we have relationships with, the ways in which we form these bonds with our pain. So I was listening to another book. I love audiobooks. An audiobook I was listening to was called You Are Badass. And she was talking about that also, how we create these scripts in our mind of like why this thing has to be true. And whatever the thing is, for example, if the thing is, I'm always single, we decide that in some way, like, it has to be true because it serves us, right? And we go on preaching this script to everybody who will listen, and we're really attached to it. And I made a post on my Instagram about myself personally and my personal journey around breaking up with my pain, and no longer inviting it in my home, because for myself, I'll say that there are certain things that I have found to be quite painful in my life, and what I do with those things is I, in the past, have like held on to them tightly out of comfort and out of them being something that I was used to, and it has taken me a lot of tears and journaling and time to really be like, this thing, I'm gonna break up with you. I'm not gonna let you into my space anymore. One of those things for me is this idea that I'm too much. And it has caused me so much pain in my life, thinking about myself is too much. And I've been told by people that I was too much. And I was like, this is a thing that people are saying, and this is how people see me. And it came to a point where people don't have to tell me anymore. I started saying it to myself and thinking it to myself, and I would invite this into my space consistently. And I feel like a big part of self-love journey is to really figure out what those pain points are and be like, I'm gonna break up with you. Like, we're no longer gonna have this relationship. I no longer will take part in this with you, and you're no longer invited into my home. You no longer have space in my bed. This is not a thing that's gonna continue to happen, and I'm not gonna give you space to continue to hurt me. And usually, I find breaking up with my pain or breaking up with your pain means getting to the nitty gritty of how does this thing serve you? Like, why have you continued a relationship with this pain point for so long? For myself, why I had a relationship with my pain for so long was, I think that it served me in some way, believing that I'm too much or not enough. Helped me to stay comfortable in a storyline that I was used to. So, for example, people breaking up with me because they feel like I'm too much. I, a lot of the time, didn't really want to be in a relationship. A lot of relationships I've been in, I didn't really want to be in a relationship. And I feel like I carried that energy into my relationships. And I wasn't really interested. I'm still like working through some of this even as I'm talking to you, actually, of how I wasn't really interested in being tamed by somebody, so to speak. I don't really like that language, but that's the only thing that's coming to my mind right now. And I think there's a pretense in those relationships that relationships mean that we would be each other's possession in some way, even though we didn't want to be that. So it made sense that there's a part of me that rebelled against this idea, that I, even within my energy, I was rebelling. And even the fact that I would stay in these relationships knowing what it was, knowing that I didn't really want to at times, but I would still settle and be like, this feels good, this is working, I think, I feel like we just create these circumstances for ourselves to feel the thing that we want to feel. So it's just like the cycle, right? Like, I already feel like too much, and then I get with people who I know I'll feel too much with, and then they affirm that I'm too much, and then I continue to stay feeling too much, and then they make me feel like that story I have about myself is true about me being too much, right? And I think that we keep these ongoing relationships with our pain points, whatever it may be. It could be, I'm an angry person. Like, whatever our concepts are, our ideas, our stories are, it could be anything. We keep these relationships because we're so comfortable with them. We've been doing it for so long. Mm-hmm. And at some point, we're more attached to the idea than the reality of what it could be like to shift. And then we just start creating, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, We start creating situations for our stories to be true. And I think I'm just here to say, like, honestly, it's important, and it's that in 2017, we start figuring out what it is and breaking up with them. And I know you're probably like, okay, so what does it mean? Like, whatever yours is, you might be like, okay, how will I actually apply this? Like, how could I actually break up with my pain? And it's a few things. I would say, first of all, when you hear yourself saying the thing, changing the language around it. And I've actually posted this on my Instagram saying, like, if you hear me start saying out of my mouth in any particular way or form that I am too much, I need you to be like, come again, repeat that, say it in a different way. Because I'm so used to saying it at this point. I think that sometimes people do that around sadness. And be like, they attach themselves to the idea that they are a sad person or an angry person. Breaking up with that literally means, like, no longer speaking life to it. No longer letting those words escape your mouth as a way of defining yourself. I think also your headspace. When you feel the thoughts start to stream into your mind, you actually need to pause, take a deep breath, and recenter yourself and reframe it within your own being, For me, what has that looked like? I guess that's really looked like when I start getting into the mindset, like, this thing is happening to me because I'm too much for this person or for this situation. I really need to stop myself and be like, what are you really, though? And that looks like asking serious questions of, like, is this my my escape out of actually feeling the feelings? Is this my escape out of really facing whatever it is that I don't want to face? Because sometimes I'm actually not even doing my full 100% work. I'm not even actually trying very hard, but I'll be like, I'm just too much and they don't want to deal with me. But it's like, I haven't even put my full self into the task or project at hand, but I've used this as an escape or as an out, for how I'm truly feeling. So for me, asking questions has been a way to interrupt that. I also feel like, is the willingness to change, it's because I feel like even when our lives feel difficult, or even when we're not particularly happy with the way things have been going, what we do is we get comfortable in the discomfort of it all, and we actually like the way it is. Even though we don't like it, we like it, And breaking up with my pain, at least, has looked like, for me, a willingness to see my life look completely different than how it used to look. Kind of like going through an actual breakup, right? Like sometimes you with somebody and like you don't actually want to break up with them because you want to still have someone to like cuddle with on Friday nights. Even though when you cuddle with this person on Friday nights, they're saying all kinds of like negative, fucked up shit in your ear, you're still like, okay, I'm gonna cuddle with this person, and I know I have a person, and that's worth the fact that the person I have is negative as shit. No, it's not worth it. You might as well lay in your bed by yourself. So I think that it's a willingness to see our lives look different. So breaking up with your pain actually means being like, I know that I'm going to get rid of this excuse, right? So sometimes we hold on to our pain for the excuse and for the comfort of it all. Your life will look completely different, and you will no longer have this thing as an excuse of why you're not doing the other things. And you kind of have to just be like ready and willing and open-hearted, open-minded for that to happen. So for me, that's what breaking up with my pain has looked like. And I also think it's something that doesn't happen overnight. Like all breakups go through their stages of grief. Whew, they really do. And breaking up with your pain means opening yourself to go through these stages of grief. Because I know for me, one of the things that happened to me about a year ago, it was about a year ago or so, maybe a little bit more than that. Going into 2016, it happened actually. I remember meditating and writing in my journal, and part of what came as I wrote stream of consciousness, that's when you just kind of write whatever comes through. What came through is that I'm shifting and I'm going to be a new woman that I've never been before, and that feels terrifying to me, to be this new person. And I know it sounds like a simple thought, right? Like we're all different all the time, right? We're constantly growing and changing. But that meant letting go of certain things and certain ways of being that I had become accustomed to. And I was terrified. I'm trying to pull back this feeling. I was sincerely terrified about becoming this person. Here I'm a year later, and I mean, it's been true. I have, lived in Atlanta for a little bit now. Have just got back to Toronto a few weeks ago. I, in that time, have gotten piercings and tattoos. I don't look like the same person that I looked like when I was writing that. My business has shifted. My team has shifted. A completely new team. All these different things have happened, right? So I just say this to say that, it was true. I was changing and I was growing. I am changing. I am growing. And that means I'm consistently shifting and reinventing myself in different ways as a woman that I am. And it's terrifying. But it's so, so necessary. And it's so freeing. I feel that's what's been the most freeing. Really, 2017, I've been I'm breaking up with this idea of me being too much. That is not a thing. I ain't even worried about that. I'm just not worried. And it has been so freeing for myself. I don't feel like I'm as stressed anymore about certain things that I used to be worried about. I'm kind of just shrug shoulders. It's all good. Keep it moving. Because so many things I feel that hurt us are self-inflicted. And what I mean by that is a lot of our pain and our fear happens in our headspace. We act and treat the world based on that, what has to happen in our headspace. And when we start shifting our headspace, we start shifting how we're moving through the world, the ways that we speak to ourselves and to other people, and then our life starts to transform and shift. And I feel it's definitely worth it and definitely incredibly freeing to have that be the case. I don't know. These are just my thoughts. I wonder why I said I don't know when I definitely know. I really do know that this is how I feel. Language is so important. So, I like to do that for myself. Just, stop, pause, and be wait a minute. We're not going to do that. Because I feel the I don't know thing that I know is a a discomfort of sorts with speaking what is my own truth, because it's totally okay that like my truth is completely different from your truth. And you know, I hope that you take what you need and leave what you don't. That's usually my philosophy when I share my experiences with folks. Anywho, I say all that to say that my challenge to you in 2017 is to pick a pain point, that something, that a story that you have been telling yourself for your entire life, and break up with it. Leave it behind. No longer have a relationship with it. Do not let it in your bed. Do not be chilling with it at night, ruminating in your mind. Don't even do it. And when it starts to happen, because I promise you it will start to happen, just take a deep breath, pause, recenter, ground yourself, and reframe. Whatever the thought is, reframe your words, and get in the habit of doing that. And it will definitely be a grief process along with it as you shift, but get in the habit of doing that. And the more that you do it, the more that you'll start to just see things around you in your life and the energy around you start to shift. And it will feel freeing. At least my experience of it has been. And I hope the same for you. But this is my challenge to you. Let me know how it goes. Please share with me what you want to break up with. What aspect, what pain point, what storyline have you been telling yourself for too long that you need to let go of, and you will no longer let in your bed. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing Sunday filled with all kinds of relaxation, peace, harmony, and self-love. Till next Sunday, take care. Peace.